And what do you do then? That's when you find out who you are about a pitcher. And sometimes these are almost my favorite starts, is when you're getting kind of beat around there in the early part of the game, but you settle in, you catch rhythm, and you're able to pitch deep into a ball game. And so, that's what I'm most happy about. I finished strong.
Here he swings at this one, drives the ball deep out there into right field, and that one is out of here. Ohtani just did what everyone came out to the ballpark to see. It's a home run, number 40 of the season. Angels add on. It's 3-1, and it's showtime.
Number 40 of the year for Shohei.
That's Angels Radio, AM 830. Shohei Ohtani connecting, and the first to do so in the bigs with 40 home runs. He was removed from Thursday night's game as a pitcher because of what the Angels described as cramping in his right hand and fingers. So he hits his 40th, and he also threw 4 scoreless frames and only 59 pitches. The Angels had a 3-1 lead, but ninth inning, this.
And the 0-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball deep to right field. Renfroe going back to the 1 track, looking up, and Grandma, get out the rye bread and mustard. It is grand salami time. Cade Marlowe with his first career grand slam straightaway right field into the big bleachers. His second big league home run. Holy smokes, what a shot by Cade Marlowe. And it's now the Mariners 5 and the Angels 3.
How about that? Cade Marlowe's grand slam in the ninth. Seattle Sports 7:10 a.m. That's your game winner. M's take the Angels 5-3. More pitchers making their debuts. Jack Flaherty, 6 innings in his Baltimore debut. Ryan Mountcastle, Austin Hayes, each had 4 hits. The AL leading O's beat the Blue Jays. That's a 6-1 final. Michael Lorenzen threw a season-high 8 innings of 2-run ball in his Phillies debut as they best the Marlins 4-2, and they win 3 of 4 in that series.
Frelick swings, sends one to right, deep at the wall, gone for Sal. Another 3-run shot for the Crew, and piling on now.
That's Bob Uecker, 620 WTMJ. Sal Frelick, that rookie, with a 3-run shot. They had 3-run home runs in consecutive innings as they blow out the Pirates through the Brewers 14-1 and move into first place in the division thanks to this.
Here's the pitch to Bellinger, swinging a line drive, right field, base hit. The Cubs are going to take the lead. Fraley gets it back in. Coming in to score, Nico Horner. Ian Happ goes to third. Run scoring single, Cody Bellinger. Cubs lead 2-1.
That's the Cubs radio network. They knocked the Reds out of the top spot in the Central. Cody Bellinger, Ian Happ, Jan Gomes knocked in runs in a 5-3 win. Cubs win for the 13th time in 16 games, win 3 of 4 in that series as well. Freddie Freeman, 3 hits, as Miguel Rojas and Ahmed Rosario each knocked in a pair as well. Dodgers beat the A's 8-2 to finish off a 3-game sweep. The Giants, looking up at L.A., get a 1-0 win over the Diamondbacks thanks to Lamont Wade's home run, as they had 6 pitchers combined on the shutout, 1-0 over those Snakes. Meantime, the Mets' dismal start to the second half post trade deadline, swept by the Royals. 9-2 is your final as the Mets muster up no offense in KC. Coming up, Pac-12 about to get poached again, and it's back to the NFL. A focus on quarterbacks in Dallas and Philly. That's next. You're listening to the Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Grady. Alabama was 2 plays away from a perfect season. You write off Alabama at your own peril. I am most certainly not going to do that with you.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
These days, there are plenty of things to worry about, but keeping pests out of your home shouldn't be one of them. That's why you need Massey Services. Massey eliminates pests before they get inside. They start by carefully inspecting the inside and outside of your home and then focus customized treatments on the outside. Best of all, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. That's the Massey difference. Expect more and get it.
Hey, if you're tired of bad banks, we get it. And if you're looking to make a switch, try Sharon View Federal Credit Union. Personal finance without headaches. That's the Sharon View way. With Sharon View's new member certificate of deposit, enjoy a 5.35 annual percentage yield on your balance for 16 months guaranteed. Membership eligibility required. With exceptional service and competitive rates, you'll see why members love Sharon View. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for new members and try the credit union difference today.
I've made it my personal mission to try all the frozen drinks at McDonald's. I'm talking about that new frozen Hawaiian Punch, tropical and fruity, and that frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry, cool and refreshing, and a delicious frozen Coke. They're all just $1.89 in any size, and I can order a McCafe iced coffee in any flavor for the same price. Mission accomplished. There are drinks, then there are drinks from McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Coca-Cola and Fanta are registered trademarks of the Coca-Cola Company. Hawaiian Punch is a registered trademark of Dr. Pepper 7-Up Inc.
Hi, college football fans. Dr. Pepper wants you to join us at the Dukes Mayo Classic on September 2nd in Charlotte to kick off the college football season. Stop into your local Walmart today to pick up an ice-cold Dr. Pepper and enter for your chance to win tickets, sideline passes, and a chance to compete for $100,000 in tuition in the Dr. Pepper tuition throw. No purchase necessary. See Dr. Pepper displays at Walmart for entry and rules. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
At Lowe's, it pays to be a pro. With a Lowe's business credit card, you save 5% every day on eligible purchases. Because we know taking care of your business means managing your bottom line. With 4 card options that let you pay your way, we have the right credit solution to help get the job done. Open a Lowe's business credit card today to start saving 5% on eligible items every day. Lowe's knows partnership. Lowe's knows pros. Subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway.
Inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
Sometimes it can feel like food has an emotional control over you. Well, it's time to show your food who's boss with Noom. Noom uses science and personalization to help you manage your weight for the long term. Their psychology-based approach helps you build better habits and behaviors that are easier to maintain. The best part? You decide how Noom fits into your life, not the other way around. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com to sign up for your trial today.
These days, there are plenty of things to worry about, but keeping pests out of your home shouldn't be one of them. That's why you need Massey Services. Massey eliminates pests before they get inside. They start by carefully inspecting the inside and outside of your home and then focus customized treatments on the outside. Best of all, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. That's the Massey difference. Expect more and get it.
Introducing KFC's new hot and spicy nuggets for $3.49.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Here's Jim Basquill.
And ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter all night.
Again, our top stories. The NFL returns with the Hall of Fame game. No Rodgers, no Watson on the field. Big 12 ready to poach another from the Pac-12. Diana Taurasi passes 10,000 career points, first ever in the WNBA to do so. Max Scherzer pitches 6 in his Ranger debut, a Texas win. And Shohei, first in the majors to 40 home runs, but his Angels give up a granny in the ninth and a loss to the M's.
The Pac-12, as we know it, is dying. It is circling the drain.
From coast to coast, athletic directors, commissioners, and decision makers in college athletics are paying attention to this and watching and reading. And everybody's talking about what they're going to do if indeed that were to unfold and the Pac-12 were to dissolve.
We got to get rid of all the warm and fuzzies out there. This is about survival. This is about dollars that are going to fund your university.
Yes, it's Arizona, and deep discussions about joining the Big 12, a deal.
Suggestion of the play, so I had to give him love.
We mentioned the UCLA rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 8 of 11, 82 yards, and the game-winning touchdown pass. DTR, they call him, and his coach Kevin Stefanski was awfully impressed.
Yeah, did what he does when he gets opportunities, both in games and in practice. I thought he ran hard. I think the ball went where it was supposed to go, mostly from the vantage point I had. Played really hard, so he did a nice job.
It won't be the UCLA rookie under center this season. Instead, Deshaun Watson, and Kimberly A. Martin says, don't sleep on this Cleveland Browns team. She was on Joe and Amber.
And no one's talking about the Browns. And they honestly, they love that. I think the difference with the Browns is, number one, off the bat, Deshaun Watson, a year ago, he still had a bunch of lawsuits hanging over him. He still, was gearing up to face a suspension. Now it's been football only this entire offseason for Deshaun Watson. Plus, we also have a new defensive coordinator in Jim Schwartz, who's going to utilize the resources in front of him. He's going to, they got impact players all over the place, and they're going to be aggressive on defense. So I'm excited to see this Browns team. We're not going to get to see them tonight, but for this season, I think this is a really good roster and one that might not be talked enough about.
Yeah, a roster that didn't do much a season ago with Watson playing the last half dozen games. They're talking pigskin with Sam Acho, college and pro. ESPN Radio in the morning, 7:15 Eastern with Amber Wilson and Ian Fitzsimmons on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. When you talk Cowboys, you talk Dak and Damian Woody, and Harry Douglas still bullish on the Cowboys quarterback.
Like, if you have aspirations to winning a Super Bowl championship, yeah, Dak Prescott, when he's dropping back, he can't be second guessing himself. He can't think he's seeing one thing but it's another. You got to be sure at that position, at the quarterback position, and understand where you're going with the football and why you're going there. Any moment that a quarterback second guesses himself at that position, it normally doesn't end well. So I think for Dak, in order for them to get to where they want to be, Dak Prescott is going to have to push the football down the field. He's going to have to take chances.
Last year was definitely, it wasn't Dak-like the way he turned the ball over. I don't think there was a couple things that played into it. Obviously, I think outside of CeeDee Lamb, they didn't have a lot of receivers that could separate, and Dak just making timely mistakes in bad situations. So I think, those situations, those interceptions are definitely correctable, and you combine that with the roster that the Cowboys have, yes, he can definitely lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl.
In the meantime, over in Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts led the Eagles to a Super Bowl appearance just a season ago, and his coach, Nick Sirianni, says he's better this year.
It's just really been his consistency. I think he's operating at a very high level as far as within the offense, just understanding even more so why we do things, how we do things. And he's really like a coach on the field with those things like that. I think our conversations in the quarterback room, they just keep getting deeper and deeper. And as far as how we really are dissecting all the things that we're doing, he's going to reach his ceiling, whatever that is, because of all the things that he has inside of him. And I just see that continue to show out, and I see him continuing to get better. I'm really pleased with how he's been so far throughout camp. I just see continued improvement and continued consistency with Jalen.
Over in Buffalo, Josh Allen on how the offense has looked thus far. It's early in camp.
It takes time. We're just trying to work hard and work the kinks out. I'm glad we're making mistakes now and learning from them and trying to correct them the next time that we go out there. And It's not going to be perfect right away. We got to talk through a lot of different things. And again, nothing that we did last year carries over to what we're going to do this year. We're going to be a completely different ball club based on, personnel and scheme. And every year you got to find new ways to be different than you were last year and to be better than you were last year.
Meantime, free agent defensive end Yannick Ngakoue is signing a 1-year, $10.5 million contract with the Chicago Bears. It includes $10 million in guaranteed money. The Bears will become his 5th team since the start of the 2020 season. He's posted at least 8 sacks in every season in his 7-year NFL career. Regarding his soon-to-be teammate, quarterback Justin Fields, can he be a star? If you look at Vegas, they have him as the leader in the clubhouse as odds for MVP. This is a team that earned the top overall pick in this past draft with him under center. Tim Hasselbeck on if he could be just that, a star in this league.
I think he eventually can be a superstar. Like, is he going to be in the MVP conversation? Everyone wants to be like, all right, who's this year's Jalen Hurts? The guy that we're unsure about as a starter, and now next thing you know, we're talking about him as an MVP candidate, his team's in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't think we're looking at that, but I've always felt that Justin Fields had Cam Newton-like qualities. The physical nature of it, just his ability to be a runner in different circumstances, his ability to throw the football accurately, his track record of making good decisions at the collegiate level. Like, I just think that he can be an amazing player.
Yeah, increase that completion percentage, win more games. Got weapons this offseason. We'll see how it plays out. Meantime, all the quarterback talk, right? And then there's the running backs, Austin Eckler of the Chargers on Kenny and Carlin on why running backs this offseason felt they had to put their foot down.
I think it was important for us to make sure we were heard because we were kind of getting drug across the floor. Not even kind of, we were definitely getting drug across the floor as far as all the new contracts coming out this year with all the running backs. The narrative right now is trying to justify why the owners are doing what they're doing. When that's the only thing that's going on out there, now everyone's like, oh, yeah, they're right. Wait a minute. Us as running backs are like, whoa, everyone needs to hold up. So us getting in the media, having these conversations is definitely beneficial, making sure that we have some type of consistent narrative that we want to keep pushing out there. For me, it comes back to our top guys cannot be compared to the general running back position when it comes time for compensation because that's not accurate. It's how you treat any other position. You don't treat any position where the top guys are compared to the general position, and that's how you pay them. The top guys get paid top money because they're making top impact on the team. That's where there's a little disconnect. So now we got to be combative of it and making sure we're putting our narrative out there.
That makes a lot of sense right there. Titans cutting right tackle Jamarco Jones after a second altercation in practice this week. Our run through NFL cast with 2 days focusing on the Steelers and Packers.
Hey, let's go do our job, man.
NFL Nation 2-a-days on ESPN Radio. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
158, go!
This is Brooke Pryor with the Steelers. And the biggest thing we're going to be watching in Latrobe is can Kenny Pickett pick up where he left off at the end of the 2022 season? Pickett finished last season throwing 6 touchdowns to 1 interception after the bye, but his rookie season, he did throw just 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. So this year's training camp is the first look at how Pickett is adjusting in his second year. Is he going to take that second-year leap that we see out of so many quarterbacks? And in front of him, there's a new offensive line. The Steelers made big moves in free agency to give Pickett more protection. We'll see how that pays off beginning in Latrobe.
Countdown to kickoff with NFL Nation 2-a-days on ESPN Radio.
Hey, let's go do our job, man.
NFL Nation 2-a-days on ESPN Radio. The Green Bay Packers.
158, go!
This is Packers reporter Rob Domofsky, and this is Jordan Love's team for now. But he can't wait too long to show that he's worthy. After 3 years as Aaron Rodgers' backup, Love essentially has this year and possibly next year to show that he's capable. Now, the Packers don't necessarily have to be a playoff team this year in order for Love to win over the organization. Remember, they went 6-10 in Rodgers' first year as a starter. But also remember that Rodgers threw for more than 4,000 yards and had 28 touchdown passes in that first season, making it clear he was on the right track. The next year, they made the playoffs. The year after that, they won the Super Bowl. So the most important thing Love needs to do this year is show that he is on the right track.
Countdown to kickoff with NFL Nation 2-a-days on ESPN Radio.
And that division is there for the taking for plenty of teams. Coming up, we size up the next challenge in the knockout stage for the U.S. women at the World Cup and have the night's top plays all queued up, and that covers a trio of sports. That's next. You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Amber Wilson. Coming up on Friday, we continue our ESPN Radio 2-a-days with the Seahawks. Can Geno Smith build off his great season last year? That and more beginning at 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and on ESPNU.
ESPN Radio Sports Center all night. More next.
Hey, are you still there?
Yeah, no, I can't. They don't allow me to leave until this show's over. Whether I want to or not.
Paul Feinbaum, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC network.
As summer rolls on, football rolls in. And ACC Network is hitting the road. 14 schools, 14 stops. Come ride with us on the road to kickoff.
We're going to a new school every single day.
It's one of the most exciting times of the year. ACC Football Road Trip. Weekdays at 7 Eastern, August 7th through the 24th on ACCN and streaming live on the ESPN app.
The Baseball Tonight podcast.
If they don't re-sign Ohtani, this is going to be one of the most criticized decisions that we've seen in baseball in recent years.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The 2023 U.S. Open Tennis Championships. It's the sport's biggest stars. It's the next generation now. It's fire on the court and off. It's edge of your seat and up on your feet. And it only happens here. The U.S. Open, August 28th through September 10th. Tickets on sale now at usopen.org. The U.S. Open. Spectacular awaits.
Hi, I'm Israel Gutierrez, host of the podcast ESPN Daily. Every weekday morning, I'll bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today on ESPN Daily, as the U.S. women's national team prepares for the knockout stage, Ali Krieger tells us why it's not time to panic yet. So follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
You can't miss a moment with Greeny.
Here's what I can tell you, is that there are people around the NBA who believe it's going to be one more year for Embiid, and then there is a real chance that he winds up somewhere else. That somewhere else that I've heard in some of that informed speculation would be the Knicks. Now, wouldn't that be a fascinating turn of events?
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
The Little League Softball World Series is the best time of the year. 2 weeks filled with laughs, high fives, and sportsmanship. That's what it's all about. Little League Softball at its best. Igniting a lifelong love of the game. They just love to play. Sit back and enjoy. The Little League Softball World Series, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, begins Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN+.
This is Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Here's Jim Basquil.
Yeah, we're back on Sports Center all night with the Women's World Cup and a surprise two-time champ Germany eliminated in the group stage, a 1-1 draw with South Korea. Colombia also advanced as the Group H winner. South Africa is also through to the next stage. It's stoppage time winner against Italy. USA getting Sweden Sunday morning. Yes, it is the knockout stage, and they've taken heed for winning just one in regulation thus far and celebrating to get to this stage. Ex-U.S. player Carly Lloyd in particular took shots to which Ali Krieger wasn't surprised she was on SportsCenter.
It's not surprising coming from Carly Lloyd, a former player who, speaks the truth. But I do think it was a bit harsh because we did get through. The positive is that we are in the round of 16. We made it through the group stage, no matter if it's first or second. And now it's just focus on that next game because it's a must win. You're allowed to be smiling. You're allowed to be happy. Yes, it wasn't the performance that I think any of the players are really proud of. They obviously know it can be better. They're the first ones to probably say that. But listen, we made it to the round of 16. Now our focus has to be on Sweden. You have to give, back to the fans who have traveled all over the world to be a part of this tournament with you. I think it's okay and it's appropriate to do that and spend some time with them after the game.
Again, 5 a.m. on Sunday morning against Sweden. The night's top sounds includes a milestone from the WNBA. Shohei going out and the NFL is back. Kevin Winter has the details.
Number 5.
Jim, we waited 178 days for this, so you're darn right I'm going to put it in top sound. We had football! Browns, Jets, Hall of Fame game. The game-sealing interception for Cleveland from ESPN 850 Cleveland, WKNR.
2 receivers left, 3 out wide to the right. Strebler in the gun by himself from his own 30, from the Browns 35. Takes the snap, back in the pocket, up in the pocket, throws down the middle of the field, and that is picked off. They got it. And they sit down on it, and the Browns come up with it, picked off on the play by Bubba Bolden, and the Browns defense is finally going to put this one away with 40 seconds left to go.
Number 4.
Jim, Thursday afternoon, Max Scherzer made his debut for the Texas Rangers after being traded from the New York Mets. Scherzer got lit up for 3 runs in the first inning, but he settled down nicely, wound up striking out 9 over 6 in a Ranger victory. The call on 105.3 The Fan.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Cutter down and in. Gets the chase from Sheets. Scherzer struck out 3 straight going back to the 5th, and he's got 9 strikeouts.
Number 3.
Jim, never before in the history of the WNBA had a player scored 10,000 points for her career. That all changed in the third quarter at Footprint Center in Phoenix on Thursday night with the Phoenix Mercury hosting the Atlanta Dream. Congratulations, Diana Taurasi. The call on Amazon Prime.
Diana Taurasi may etch her name in the history books. Taurasi, 3. Diana's done it. She is 1 of 1. Taurasi is now the league's first 10,000-point scorer career.
Number 2.
Jim, back to the diamond. This is not going to be in chronological order, but you'll understand why in a moment. In the top of the 9th inning, down by 2, the Mariners load the bases with nobody out. They then have 1 out, the bases still loaded, and then there's still 1 out, and there's no one on, and the Mariners lead. The call from Seattle Sports, 7:10 a.m.
And the 0-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball deep to right field. Renfroe going back to the Woody track, looking up, and Grandma, get out the rye bread and mustard. It is grand salami time. Cade Marlowe with his first career grand slam straightaway right field into the big bleachers. His second big league home run. Holy smokes, what a shot by Cade Marlowe. And it's now the Mariners 5 and the Angels 3.
Number 1.
Jim, here's the reason why the Mariners were down 3-1 in the 9th inning. Because Shohei Ohtani did it again at the plate. Number 40 from Terry Smith on Angels Radio, AM 830.
Here he swings at this one, drives the ball deep out there into right field, and that one is out of here. Ohtani just did what everyone came out to the ballpark to see. It's a home run, number 40 of the season. Angels add on. It's 3-1, and it's showtime.
Number 40 of the year for Shohei.
Shohei goes out, but again, as Kevin mentioned, it comes in a loss. They're talking football, college and pro. ESPN Radio in the morning. Amber Wilson, Ian Fitzsimmons, 7:15. Sam Acho on. College Game Day host Reese Davis at 9 a.m. Eastern, and college football realignment sure to be part of that conversation. Tom Brady has become a minority owner for the English Shockers Birmingham City Club, and Russell Henley shot a 62 one-shot lead at the Wyndham Championship. Again, Diana Taurasi, first WNBA player ever to reach 10,000 career points. Thanks for staying up all night. For producer Cam Ursery and technical director Josiah Howard, I'm Jim Basquel. ESPN Radio in the Morning is next.
Hey, it's Amber Wilson coming up on Friday. With so many quarterback battles still to be resolved, I'll tell you who will be the starter week 1. That and more beginning at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and on ESPNU.
Porsche, BMW, Lexus, Lamborghini, Corvette. Who will claim the podium in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championships All-GT event? See for yourself August 25th through the 27th as drivers battle it out during the Michelin GT Challenge at Virginia International Raceway. Don't miss this full throttle experience with paddock access. Roam the pit area and rub elbows with the drivers seconds before they throw the green flag. Tickets available now at VIRnow.com. As always, 12 and under, parking and active military are free.
The need for foster parents locally in North Carolina and all over the country has been unmet for years. Thompson Child and Family Focus is transforming lives through early childhood, family stability, and mental health services. No matter the situation of a child, you can come to Thompson for the training you need to serve them. Discover how you can be a foster parent and make a difference in a child's life. Go to thompsoncff.org or call 704-536-0375.
Hey, if you're tired of bad banks, we get it. And if you're looking to make a switch, try Sharon View Federal Credit Union. Personal finance without headaches. That's the Sharon View way. With Sharon View's new member certificate of deposit, enjoy a 5.35 annual percentage yield on your balance for 16 months guaranteed. Membership eligibility required. With exceptional service and competitive rates, you'll see why members love Sharon View. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for new members and try the credit union difference today.
Hi, college football fans. Dr. Pepper wants you to join us at the Duke's Mayo Classic on September 2nd in Charlotte to kick off the college football season. Stop into your local Walmart today to pick up an ice-cold Dr. Pepper and enter for your chance to win tickets, sideline passes, and a chance to compete for $100,000 in tuition in the Dr. Pepper tuition throw. No purchase necessary. See Dr. Pepper displays at Walmart for entry and rules. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Introducing KFC's new hot and spicy nuggets for $3.49. 5 pieces of extra crispy 100% white meat chicken nuggets prepped in secret spicy marinade. They're tasty heat in every bite. You get the kick of spice and the tenderness of chicken. Not too hot, not too mild, just right. Try a 5-piece of KFC's new hot and spicy nuggets for just $3.49. That's finger licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tips, and fees extra.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
Macy's one-day sale is going on now with great deals of the day on back-to-school essentials they need now, like 40 to 50% off kids and juniors outfits, 25 to 50% off backpacks, bags, and accessories, and get their dorm room set with 40% off small appliances from Bella, Crux, and more. Plus, download the app for even more great deals of the day at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Valspar's Signature has everything you want in a paint and more. Rich color, smooth coverage, excellent stain resistance. And now, Valspar's Signature has one more thing to love. An all-new low price, starting at just $35.98 per gallon. Originally $39.98, this limited-time offer begins August 3rd, only at Lowe's. Valspar, made for more. Valid through 9/26/23. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Price subject to change.
Hey, if you're tired of bad banks, we get it. And if you're looking to make a switch, try Sharon View Federal Credit Union. Personal finance without headaches. That's the Sharon View way. With Sharon View's new member certificate of deposit, enjoy a 5.35 annual percentage yield
Drops it in all the way out to the 40 of Cleveland. Malik Taylor pulls in the bomb from Zach Wilson.
Throws over the middle. That's caught. And it's Austin Watkins. He goes in. Touchdown.
That was an absolute dime. And I'll tell you what, I think the Browns may have some in their 5th rounder out of UCLA.
And the Browns come up with it. Picked off on the play by Bubba Bolden. And the Browns defense is finally going to put this one away.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? Amber Wilson and Ian Fitzsimmons hanging out with you this morning. Ian, do you know what that was? That was football. The sound of football. Actual real football. That's what we had last night.
And you know what? It's a glorious thing, Amber. Good morning. Good to see you. And look, anybody who says, especially in our industry, that I'm not watching the Hall of Fame game, you're not going to learn anything. You know, you're not going to see any of the starters or for some part, the backup players. So I'm not going to watch, whatever. We all watched. Football is back on our TVs. We'll have it all the way up until February now, nearly every single weekend. Ain't life grand, as Widespread Panic once said. Football is back.
So the Browns defeated the Jets last night in the Hall of Fame game, 21-16. Nobody cares about that. All you care about is that you got to see a little football. And my experience with the Hall of Fame game every year is this. I'm always get excited because, yes, you're right. You're lying to yourself if you're a football fan and you say you don't fire that thing up, even though you're not going to take anything away from it because nobody important or who you deem as important is playing. And even the guys out there playing, like some of them are playing for jobs. Some of them end up looking excellent. You heard it on that call. Maybe they really found something from their 5th rounder out of UCLA, although it's the Hall of Fame game, right? So we have no idea. It's nice to see some of these guys get an opportunity out there, get an opportunity to impress their coaching staffs, but it's so early on. All we care about is the fact that there's actually some semblance of football on our screens. And so I always get excited for it. I fire it up. I watch like maybe 3/4 of the first quarter, and then I'm out because I realize I don't know who anybody is.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to pretend I watched all 4 quarters. You know, I went to about midway through the second quarter, knowing I had to wake up at 3 a.m. When you know what? Okay, I've seen enough. But there are a couple of things that stood out. Chaz Surratt, the former UNC quarterback turned linebacker and was an All-American back in 2020. He's trying to make this squad. He was a 3rd-round pick by the Minnesota Vikings. He had a nice pick, against Kellen Mond in the first quarter. I think he finished with 4 or 5 tackles. He's trying to make a squad, and he's a guy that can also contribute on special teams. So things like that I'll watch. I was also watching how some of the Jets teammates reacted to Zach Wilson. We all know the history there from last year. So that was something I was also watching as well. But other than that, I just kicked back, got some pretzels, and watched a football game. And it was spectacular to finally have ball back on our TVs. And again, we're here with it till February.
We are here with it until February. Thank goodness it is finally here. Of course, we are always counting you down to kick off here on ESPN Radio. We will be doing more of our 2-a-days a little bit later in the show. ESPN Radio is presented to you by Progressive Insurance. You can watch us this morning on ESPNU. Of course, you can listen to us on the ESPN app, but there was football, and you mentioned it. Zach Wilson, he was really going to be the story yesterday. We weren't going to see Aaron Rodgers. We weren't going to see Deshaun Watson. We were going to get a sneak peek at Zach Wilson. He was 3 of 5, 65 yards yesterday. You got a little taste of Zach, but also you got some maturity from him after the game. He gave a lot of credit to that guy who's sitting in front of him on the roster. Here's the Jets quarterback.
Yeah, tremendously. I'm very grateful for him, and he helps me more than he needs to, so I'm very grateful.
So he's very grateful for Aaron Rodgers, Ian, in that clip. And then he went on to actually credit Aaron Rodgers with a play call. Take a listen.
Yeah, great call by Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he called that one?
I had to give him a little shout out there. Backed up, taking a shot down the field. Kind of pick your matchup. Those guys were kind of just playing single safety man. And, I think that's great for preseason ball. See what guys can win and separate. And Malik's done a great job all training camp. So I wanted to go to his side. I like the matchup with the corner as well. And he did a great job winning. And
did Aaron call that entire series or just that play?
I think it was just that play. He wasn't on the headset. Hackett's calling the plays, but I think it was his suggestion of the play. So I had to give him love.
So that was in reference to that 57-yard pass to Malik Taylor. A great play. Obviously, you like to be able to see that sort of thing from Zach Wilson, but also I thought it showed a lot that he was willing to continuously, when the mics were in front of him post game, credit Aaron Rodgers, Ian.
Yeah, he should. I mean, and he better be, kind of gravitating to him and follow him like a puppy, because you can learn a lot from a future first ballot Hall of Famer. And by the way, Malik Taylor, former Green Bay Packer. So Aaron Rodgers calling that play for one of his guys, right? And it was a nice catch too, and a hell of a throw. But you're right, Amber. He sensed a different tone when Zach Wilson was speaking to the media. And again, one of the last times we heard him was, saying that, did you let your defense down? No. And he walks off. And that's when he lost the locker room. So that was one thing I was looking at last night. The post-game comments were a much more mature Zach Wilson. And that's something, by the way, I mean, if you're a Jets fan, you want to see this young man play well, because you're always one play away from needing your backup. So last night, it was a much more mature, at least in a Hall of Fame game, quarterback for the New York Jets and Zach Wilson.
Yeah, the one-syllable answer last season that didn't just cost him the locker room, it costed him his job, frankly, as a starting quarterback for the Jets. We know what happened there with Mike White and toggling back and forth. When Aaron Rodgers comes in, though, Ian, Aaron Rodgers, multi-time MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, a dude who has done everything that you can do in the National Football League. We were talking about it yesterday on this show, me and Jay. It feels like to me that would be an easier pill to swallow. It's one thing when you're getting benched for Mike White, right? Who just feels like your colleague.
Teammates are wearing Mike White t-shirts.
Right. Well, and the people are chanting for Mike White in the stands. That's one thing. It's another thing when you're getting benched, I would imagine, from a mental perspective for Aaron Rodgers. Like Zach Wilson understands. He's not Aaron Rodgers, right? There's a huge learning curve there to be had. So maybe this is an opportunity for Zach to sit behind a guy and learn from him. Zach Wilson, 24 years old now. So also there's going to be some natural maturing that occurs throughout this process. And I would imagine a player who has been humbled by everything that has happened to him here over the past year. He certainly sounded mature in the sound bites. He said all the right things. I do think it's a real opportunity here for Zach Wilson. I'm not one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not one who's out on him. I don't think he's necessarily gotten a true fair shake. He wasn't an NFL-ready quarterback when the Jets drafted him, and I don't know if he's really gotten his opportunity here to fully develop. Maybe sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers hasn't exactly been known as a mentor in this league, maybe just being close proximity to him will be helpful.
Well, it better be, because I was one of those guys saying, you know what, if I'm the Jets, I'm going to jettison him. He's gone. I mean, you're talking about, not just a high pick. You're talking about a top 5 pick in Zach Wilson, and you blew it. So I was one of those, after the one-word answer, I freely admitted, I'm going, man, you need to get him out of there, because that room can't stand their quarterback to a T. I mean, you find one guy off that roster last year that was like, you know what, no, I'll follow that guy. Yeah, you couldn't. So for the Jets to stick with him, one, because they have so much invested in, taking him as high as they did, they kept him, learned from this guy, and maybe in 2 or 3 years, either one, as a Jets fan and the Jets organization, you want him to shine whenever he's getting some burn out there, whether it's in the preseason or mop-up duty if he has some in the regular season, because now he becomes a commodity, like the Green Bay Packers used to do nonstop when Ron Wolf, the legendary general manager, every year of the year would draft a quarterback, try and develop him, and then ship him out for more draft picks and use him as a commodity. That's what the Jets are looking for right now. Either a quality backup while Aaron Rodgers is there, or he really starts to shine and become the quarterback you thought he could be out of BYU, and then you get some value for him.
Get some value for him, or maybe he ends up being the dude after Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is almost 40 years old. There's only so many years this Aaron Rodgers in New York experience is going to last. I guess famous last words if we're talking Tom Brady. But Aaron Rodgers feels like a quarterback who also considers retiring every single year. So who knows? Maybe it'll only be 1 year that we see Aaron Rodgers in New York.
Right? I mean, he restructured that contract. He is committed for more than just a year now.
Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it. I have a feeling next offseason, no way. He's going to be talking about going into some weird darkness and doing some mushrooms at the end of the season, too. Come on. That's Aaron Rodgers for you. That isn't the only drama, though, in the NFL. Also, we got a lot of drama out of the Cowboys training camp. We got a little bit of a tussle between Trayvon Diggs and Dak Prescott. We don't normally see this, Ian, with quarterbacks. These guys were finally asked about it. Trayvon Diggs goes up. He calls Dak Prescott. He calls his quarterback a bleep, and Dak Prescott kind of lobs like a side pass at Trayvon as he's walking away. It was very gentle. Yeah, there you go. A little shuffle pass to the back of the head. It was very gentle overall, but the exchange didn't seem very gentle. Here's Trayvon Diggs on trash talking the quarterback.
There are some people that have made some comments in the last 24 to 48 hours about you not having respect for him and not showing a lack of respect for him. What's your response to those comments?
Stay out of business. Get out of business. People don't need to worry about what we got going on, our relationship, my relationship with my brother, or, how we operate. At the end of the day, it's our team. Dak is the leader of our team. He can go out there and have a great year. I have the utmost respect for Dak. So, whatever narrative, people will want to run with, that's just what it is. But we know, and, we know how we are, and we know that it's nothing. And that stuff can never come between us. It's nothing. We don't even talk about it. So,
Trayvon, I got news for you. You play for the Dallas Cowboys. There ain't no scenario that we are staying out of your business. Ain't happening, Ian.
Well, that part, you are 100% correct. But the ridiculous overreaction to this is comical to me. It's training camp, Amber. I mean, look, if an edge rusher gets into it with a right tackle or a left tackle and they start trading blows, it's feisty. Look at the spirited camp we have here. Now you got a couple of skill guys and a quarterback and one of the best cover corners in football, all of a sudden now jawing at each other and getting into it. Now we have, oh my God, it's turmoil. It's training camp. These dudes are going against each other every single day. This is nothing to me. Nada, zilch, zero, damn near a non-story. But you're right. The only reason it is because it's the Dallas Cowboys and it's Dak. That's it. If this was anywhere else, we'd be laughing about it. But because it's the Cowboys and because it's Dak, people are going to overreact to it. It's training camp. This is nothing. It's comical. Again, comical how much people overreacted to Diggs talking trash to his quarterback in camp, in practice, and then Dak throwing a shuffle to the back of his head.
There's two scenarios this offseason and during training camp when we're talking here about scuffles, right? These spats that are happening. One is Travis Kelce getting shot down or not even getting his opportunity to shoot his shot at Taylor Swift. So that's one of them. When he fights, then we talk about it after he just told us that he didn't get to shoot a shot, right? And then the other time that we've talked about it is when it is the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys that Trayvon Diggs takes a shot at, a verbal shot at. And he has to know that's going to happen. That's the only place I would disagree with you. Yes, this happens all the time in training camp. If you're going to call Dak Prescott the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, that terminology, while cameras are around and microphones are around and he's going to react when you call him that naturally, then it's going to be something that we talk about here on ESPN.
But he's in the middle of a spirited scrimmage. He's not paying attention to the cameras.
You don't think, but I mean, you have to be somewhat aware. Like if you're going to call that dude that word.
No, if you're well, hold on. Yeah.
It's going to be a story is my point. Like if you're Trayvon, you're enough of a vet to know how this thing works.
But he's not even seeing the cameras. He's in the moment. They made a big play, and he's talking noise to his quarterback. And that kind of language is out there every single day and every single Sunday. I know. It's not appropriate, but it is on the field. And
it's appropriate in their world, apparently, because that's how it works. Coming up next, Dak did respond. He also had microphones in front of him. Of course, he was also asked about the spat with Trayvon. We will tell you what Dak Prescott said. Plus, should we take anything that we see during training camp seriously? That's next. ESPN Radio is also on the ESPN app.
I think it's okay for Jerry to ramp up expectations and put some pressure on his football team.
They are a playoff team. They will challenge the Philadelphia Eagles for the division title.
Mike McCarthy needs this kind of delivery because this football team better deliver.
The LASIK Vision Institute offers free virtual consultations. That's all your questions answered, all from the comforts of home. So don't wait. This simple 20-minute call can start your journey to 20/20 vision. Right now, the LASIK Vision Institute's offering 20% off their Wavelight laser when treated in August. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes with guaranteed financing. So visit mylvioffer.com now. Must mention this promotion to be treated in August of 2023 to qualify. 20% off standard price of procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. See details at mylvioffer.com.
These days, there are plenty of things to worry about, but keeping pests out of your home shouldn't be one of them. That's why you need Massey Services. Massey eliminates pests before they get inside. They start by carefully inspecting the inside and outside of your home and then focus customized treatments on the outside. Best of all, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. That's the Massey difference. Expect more and get it.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
If you're worried about money, you're not alone. 2/3 of Americans say they're stressed out because of finances. Rocket Money is here to help. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps track your spending by letting you set custom budgets and sends you alerts when you're about to go over them. Plus, Rocket Money lets you see all your subscriptions and cancel the ones you don't want with a single tap. To learn more, go to rocketmoney.com/offer or download the Rocket Money app from the Apple app or Google Play stores.
Man, this is a nice truck.
Yeah, check this out.
What?
I changed it to remind me of my time at sea.
Weren't you in the Air Force?
Yeah, but I really love the ocean.
You could save and get $200 with Navy Federal Credit Union when you refinance your auto loans from another lender, leaving you with extra to spend on other things. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Refinance loans must be at least $5,000 to be eligible for the $200. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more at NavyFederal.org.
Valspar's Signature has everything you want in a paint and more. Rich color, smooth coverage, excellent stain resistance. And now, Valspar's Signature has one more thing to love. An all-new low price, starting at just $35.98 per gallon. Originally $39.98, this limited-time offer begins August 3rd, only at Lowe's. Valspar, made for more. Valid through 9/26/23. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Price subject to change.
The LASIK Vision Institute offers free virtual consultations. That's all your questions answered.
I think it's okay for Jerry to ramp up expectations and put some pressure on his football team.
These guys have won 24 games in the last 2 years. They are a playoff team. They will get in the playoffs this year. They will challenge the Philadelphia Eagles for the division title.
All joking aside, I'm fine with him doing this. As a matter of fact, they need this kind of thing. Mike McCarthy needs this kind of kick in the rear end because this football team better deliver.
The problem is their star players got to bring their all-star game to the playoffs. You can't be one and done.
Walk it like I talk it, walk it. Walk it like I talk it, walk it like I talk it.
Well, a couple of their star players got into quite the spat at training camp. Ian Fitzsimmons and Amber Wilson hanging out with you here on ESPNU and on ESPN Radio. You can find him at Ian Fitz ESPN. You can find me at Amber W Sports. Ian thinks it's no big deal, right? But it's always a big deal when there's a star in the helmet, so we end up making a big deal out of it. But I understand that spats happening in training camp all the time. I think what we don't always see them happen with is the starting quarterback. And then it's amplified when it's the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. So Trayvon Diggs goes, he calls him a bleep, bleep, things we can't say here. And things, frankly, I probably wouldn't say not here as well to another person. But I understand that's the sort of thing that happens on a football field 100 times a day, Ian. Dak nevertheless still reacted. And it was funny the way Dak reacted. It was so delayed that it felt like to me that he also didn't think it was a big deal because he hears this language all the time. But like he realized as he was walking away, there's cameras around. Maybe I should do something.
Yeah,
so then you got the shovel
pass.
pass.
That's why he shuffled the shuffle pass to the back of Diggs' head. Like, I can't let him call me that with all these people standing here. Let me give a little retaliation.
Yeah, that's how I took it too. I didn't think it was a big deal. I know Jay yesterday, he thought that it was a big deal that Dak didn't immediately go after him physically. I'm like, this man has 40 million reasons not to physically react like that to Trayvon Diggs in training camp, right? Like, this is the starting quarterback. You don't want him fighting anybody. So let's go ahead and pull the move of the fake fight. The shovel pass, I thought, suited the situation just fine. Maybe you could have thrown it a little harder. You know, maybe a dart would have been a little bit better, the back of the helmet, but that's about it.
I think the shuffle was more of an insult. Like, man, just get out of here. Like, go away. You know, that's what your O-line's for. If you're a quarterback, what are you going to do? Throw fists? No.
Right.
That's what your O-line is for. Like, you know what? Hang on. We'll handle this. So, again, to me, this whole thing was because it's the Cowboys, because it's Dak, and anything Dak does is going to be amplified 100-fold, heck, 10 million-fold, because he is the quarterback of the Cowboys. There are very high expectations, and he threw 15 picks last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he has said single-digit INTs. That's what's going to happen. And last year was very uncharacteristic for him because he has taken care of the football extraordinarily well, going back to his days at Mississippi State. But because he is Dak, and he is the quarterback of the Cowboys, and there are remarkable expectations, that's why this has been so talked about. To me, it was another training camp moment that happens a million times in 32 different locations.
But I feel like Trayvon has to know that, right? I mean, you and I know that.
He's always been a talker. Going back to his days at Bama, I covered him a lot in college. I'm based in Dallas. That's just Trayvon. And if any team needs some spice to it and an attitude, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that's what a lot of their fans are saying. A lot of their fans like this. They're encouraged by this. They're like, well, now we're winning the Super Bowl because these guys have a chip on their shoulder.
My wife's won, and she was like, hey, we got a little attitude here in camp. Yeah, I'm telling you, if any team needs an edge and you want that edge in camp, it's this particular bunch.
I guess. I just feel like if you're the Dallas Cowboys with all the expectation, like you really need motivation. If you're the Dallas Cowboys to play hard this season and to try to do well, the entire world is on this team's shoulders. Of course they're motivated anyways. I don't know if they get extra motivated because Trayvon calls Dak some unpleasant words.
I wouldn't say it's motivation. I would just say it's an attitude. We haven't really seen a lot of that from this particular team for a while. So, I mean, to me, and I know they've won back-to-back 12-win seasons, but I want to see it when it matters, and that is in the postseason. They haven't gotten to an NFC championship game since 1995. And those teams, they had an edge to them. You want to talk about some trash talkers? Go back to the Dynasty Cowboys. And, so if you're a Cowboy fan, you love this. If you're a Cowboy player, you don't mind this. And if you're on the coaching staff, you went into coaches' meetings and went, yeah, all right. We got a little spice here, man. If anyone associated with the Cowboys, to me, this was a positive, not a negative.
Well, everybody might love it, except for maybe Dak Prescott, because he's the one who got called the words right from Trayvon Diggs. Now he has to answer the questions about getting called those words and the lob pass that he threw in reaction. Dak Prescott, here is the Cowboys quarterback on that spat with Trayvon.
Yeah, I mean, it's another representation of playing for the Dallas Cowboys, of anything that's said, done, or viewed, the reach, I guess, it can have, and as many people can see it, and then obviously the opinions and everything follow. But as far as what people say, how people perceive it, it's honestly one of those things you realize not a lot of people have been competed or in very heated competitions, whether it's with their family or whether it's with their brother, their friend, their teammate. That's who I am. And I know from that video, and I think I've said it before, as I'm just glad that not everything that's being said is being picked up on.
It's just another example, Dak says, of being in this position with this particular team. I mean, that dude lives under a microscope. Everything that happens with that team, particularly with that dude we talk about, everything, all of it on a national level. It comes with that position on that team. It can't be the easiest situation always. I think sometimes that's missed, the life of Dak Prescott living under the microscope.
Hey, I'll take his direct deposit to deal with that.
Yeah, well, me too.
I mean, any day of the week and twice on a Sunday.
Right. I'm not saying I feel bad for the man, but...
But here's the thing. The last part, he's right. And that's what I was laughing at. Like, hey, man, that's sometimes is timid compared to what you really hear down there, especially in the trenches. But the part where he said, obviously people ripping into this and overanalyzing it, you've never played, you've never been in competition, whether it's, at this level or, in your backyard with your brothers. All right, Dak, hold on, man. Tap the brakes a little bit. Now we're getting rabbit ears. Now we're getting a little bit sensitive. And I'm a Dak guy, but he didn't need to go there taking a shot saying, you know what, anybody overreacting to this, you've never, been in competition and even in your backyard. Okay, come on now.
But that's the recipe.
That's getting a little sensitive.
The professional athlete recipe in 2023. You blame the media, right? Like we're the ones making too big of a deal out of this, which maybe in this situation we are. And then the other thing you do is y'all never played the game. Y'all never did anything in your lives. You've never competed. I competed, Dak, last night with my 4-year-old son in an intense game of Go Fish. I have in fact competed. And that little 4-year-old, no, he kicked my butt. I'm not even gonna lie. That man has figured out how to play these card games.
Good for you.
And And he's actually winning sometimes, though, like fair and square. No, I never let him win. Mommy wins when mommy wins.
Yeah,
he's gonna learn,
Dad
right?
Wins, we celebrate. We let him know.
Yeah,
I'm Trayvon.
to let him know. So
language.
I have competed at the highest level, Dak, at the highest level. And I would say that there isn't that level of trash talking in my house when I do compete. But that is funny. And listen, the truth is, yes, this is the stuff that happens all the time. I'm sure that this is like the kindest of words compared to some of the stuff that they don't say when the cameras are around. Because the reality is, yes, Trayvon was in the moment, but also they knew cameras and microphones were around to at least some extent. So it was probably cleaned up a little bit compared to what those guys hear in the trenches. Coming up next, Amber Wilson, Ian Fitzsimmons hanging out with you this morning on ESPNU and on ESPN Radio. Our two-a-days continues as we get you ready for the NFL season. My Miami Dolphins coming up.
ESPN Radio's NFL Two-A-Days continue. An in-depth preview of every team in the National Football League.
So badly want to bring Super Bowl here.
NFL Two-A-Days. Two teams every day.
Touchdown, what a start.
The Dolphins and Seahawks are today, followed by the Jaguars and Giants on Monday. NFL Two-A-Days continues right here on ESPN Radio.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
The hunt for October continues on ESPN Radio.
To center field, the game is tied. Machado doesn't.
Heated National League West rivals go head-to-head at Petco Park in San Diego. Manny Machado and the Padres face Freddie Freeman and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
The throw! Got him!
The Padres and Dodgers. Coverage begins tomorrow at 8 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker. Mike Greenberg, Greeny.
I've told you the story about the day that I almost made my daughter Nikki walk home from elementary school. Are you familiar with this day?
I don't remember, no.
Oh, I pick her up at school. I'm driving her home. Probably 9 years old, 10 years old, something like that. We're in the car. I got the radio on. The song Only the Good Die Young comes on.
Okay.
So I said to her, this is a really, really good song. You're going to like it. And so the song is playing. And in the middle of it, she says, I know this song, Dad. The Glee version is better. And look, I've never loved anything in my life the way I love her. I almost had to pull the car over and say, you're walking from here.
That's rough. Yeah.
You cannot be in this car and say the Glee version of Only the Good Die Young is better. We just can't have that.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Hey, I'm Greg McElroy, former Alabama quarterback and host of Always College Football from Omaha Productions. 5 days a week, I'll be taking a deep dive into the world of college football with some of the biggest names on and off the field. And off seasons here are a thing of the past. Always College Football goes year-round with analysis, opinions, and insight from the top teams from coast to coast. Always College Football with Greg McElroy. Available where you get your podcast.
So you're in the middle of a kitchen update, and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. NA member FDIC.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code ESPN10 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code ESPN10. Use code ESPN10 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Diana Taurasi may etch her name in the history books. Taurasi, 3. Diana's done it. She is 1 of 1. Taurasi is now the league's first 10,000-point scorer career.
That's how it sounded on Amazon Prime as Diana Taurasi, 1 of 1, became the first player in the history of the WNBA to reach 10,000 points. Taurasi finished with 42 points, her most in a game since 2010 in the Mercury's win. Arizona is in deep discussions about joining the Big 12, sources told ESPN, with a deal expected to be finalized in the near future. Arizona would be the second Pac-12 school to announce its departure for the Big 12 in the last week, as Colorado announced last Thursday that it was headed to the league. SportsCenter is presented to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com.
Hey, let's go do our job, man.
NFL Nation Two-A-Days
Time is here.
on ESPN Radio. The Miami Dolphins.
158.
I'm ESPN Dolphins reporter Marcel Louis-Jacques, and the number one storyline I'm following this training camp is how quickly this defense can snap into shape. A below-average unit in 2022, the Dolphins made a major splash at defensive coordinator, hiring one of the greatest minds in NFL history in Vic Fangio, then trading for one of the league's best playmakers in cornerback Jalen Ramsey. With a now healthy Xavier Howard and budding third-year stars in Javon Holland and Jalen Phillips, the Dolphins have the pieces to be a top-5 unit on that side of the ball. We know what Tua, Tyreek, and this offense can do, but as we saw last year, a dominant defense will be the difference between a wild-card exit and a Super Bowl run in South Florida.
Countdown to kickoff with NFL Nation Two-A-Days on ESPN Radio.
I love that Marcel went defense there in his analysis and not quarterback, because with so many of these teams in the NFL, and it comes down to the quarterback, right? But here with the Dolphins, it really shouldn't be the quarterback that needs the changing. Now, in terms of the quarterback staying healthy, staying on the field, avoiding some of those injuries and those head injuries this season, that's going to be a story all season long for Tua. But if he is staying healthy, the question mark shouldn't be, frankly, the offense, like you just heard Marcel say. It should be that defense that looked really good in 2021 under Brian Flores' last season and not nearly as good in 2022.